Orb presents Maybe No Go.
This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And this is Maybe No Go. That wasn't a very good St. Cloud. I've been walking around doing St. Cloud all day.
Yeah?
Maybe no go.
The trick is to start with eat the pennies.
Eat the pennies, Billy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to turn to Miss Piggy.
Gurney.
Billy. Red. Kermie. Bear my children.
Billy. Stop trying to keep the show together and hug me, Billy. Kiss me, get bread. Stop running away, Billy.
This episode we're talking about, written by Doc Hammer, originally aired February 7th, 2016.
Yeah.
Pretty fun one.
It's
The main mission of this episode, they wanted to get Pete and Billy back to New York. In order to accomplish this, they brought in a plot they want to do for a while, which is one of the most, they want to do this as a special, just fucking nuts. Yeah. One of the most inside baseball things they've ever wanted to do.
Yep.
On the show.
Yeah. Which is to center an entire episode or an entire story around that red ball from the video for Duran Duran's song, Is There Something I Should Know?
Yeah. Now, you might be listening to this and you're like, oh, I know Duran Duran. Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf and stuff. This is not the most popular Duran Duran song or anything.
No.
It's fine.
Uh-huh.
I'd heard it before. When I went and looked up the video after, I was like, oh, no, I know this song.
Yeah.
But the red ball is not a huge part of the video or anything either.
Nope.
A little kid carries it in a couple shots. It's one of the more esoteric things they've ever done. Like it's wild. And there are tons of just references to bands and stuff that, like, this is some real Doc Hammer self-indulgence stuff in this episode.
I do like St. Cloud's theorizing about what would happen if Duran Duran didn't take the course that they took.
It's a cute episode because everyone's pretending.
Yes.
Everyone's playing G.I. Joe, basically, in this episode. It's very sweet.
Yeah. But like they wanted, the plan was like, okay, here's this ball. It somehow goes missing. And Pete was originally going to be obsessed with it, almost in the way that Billy was an orb. That's just something they just kind of throw off in the commentary, like, oh, this goofy idea we had from the mid-aughts, that probably is where we got orb from.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really big deal, but then orb ends up being that intentional anticlimax as well.
Yeah. So I also like this. Yeah. I like this as a troll of the people who really wanted the orb to be a thing, because there's definitely a fake out here where you think the orb's coming back, the source of our power. Yeah.
Again, but it's they wanted to make it very obvious that these are just idiots playing pretend.
Yes.
Yeah. When they originally wanted to make this as a special, they never pitched it because Mike Lazo would reject it because he hates Pete and Billy. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. The other half of this is to introduce Wide Wale as Rusty's arch.
Yes.
And have him do his old school come over with a big basket of howdy do, so to speak.
Which includes, bursting up through the floor in his submarine, like that drill in April's apartment in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. Yeah.
Yeah, her weird one-room library apartment that she lives in, that Rocksteady, comes and hangs out in. If
you're a reporter, you make good money. No, you don't. It's a horrible existence.
No, it's a horrible job. Yeah, print is dead.
Yeah,
gotta have the turtles. Got to do the arc where like April has to sleep on the turtles' horrible sewage couch because print is dead. She tries to start a blog.
Yeah, and to just live off of Google AdSense rates. Yeah.
She makes $50 for every 5,000 words.
Was she a print journalist or was she television? Because there was always a camera guy with her, right?
Oh, you're right. Because Vernon.
Yeah.
The camera guy. She was a television journalist. You're correct.
Yeah, she was holding the microphone and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that. They made a Vernon action figure
Weird.
Just now. Yeah, turtles are back. It's real weird.
Well, in a way, turtles never went away.
Well, they just went through horrible mutations. Like they got so disgusting.
It's their
like
origin story. Come on.
The live action movie one where they're aliens.
Yeah.
And they look so gross and wet. And the original ones are really wet. They somehow, like, ordinarily you think of wet as a binary state for a puppet.
Right.
You know, like a suit, a rubber suit is either wet or not wet. They somehow made them more wet using CG.
There's a distinction between wet and greasy. And
yes.
I think that
what it's wet with.
Yes. Yeah.
Anywho.
But yeah, we kind of get to see, like important stuff is revealed here, because the last episode we saw the Crusaders Action League or whatever. And just like the Guild and the OSI are playing a little bit of the same game, the Crusaders Action League is in line with the Guild, or specifically like Wide Whale's whole thing. It's all just a big protection racket. It's just a way so assholes can make money.
Yeah. We also continue the Monarch plot.
Yes.
Him trying to work his way up in the Guild, and eventually discovers at the end of this his father's secret identity in a scene they tacked on.
Yes.
At the end.
So they could kind of more easily get into another episode.
Yeah. The commentary and book on this are not super illuminating. Like they're okay. They talk about trying to keep the cast down on individual episodes to keep the voice budget down in this, which is fine. The coolest thing to me of the back matter of this episode was reading, like it feels, in season 5 when it said they were more passionate, this really feels more like that than season 5 to me. And reading like Jackson and Doc talking about planning out like what each episode had to do and what kind of, where the characters were at.
Yeah.
Like they're asking really smart questions like, oh, Doc is in this situation now. How does he contrast with his father? How does he contrast with JJ?
Yeah.
Things like that. They're being very thoughtful around that stuff in a way that I really appreciate. And I think is probably responsible for why this season feels very fresh and new, Yeah. Doc is a super scientist. He's not good at it, but it's never been something he didn't like. He doesn't like the world. He doesn't like the costumes and the idiots on his lawn, but he does like the razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
He wants to make death rays and shit.
He wants to play God, like just he is not blanched at that. In fact, if he does not constantly play God, he feels like he's a failure, right? If he's not in a position to do that. And like in that way, this feels a little bit like an interrogation of the past too, but in a kind of more satisfying way than season 3 was, right? Where that was entirely feels like, or mostly concerned with origins. This is like actually, I don't know, accomplishing a lot of the same through contrast, Yeah.
And it's questioning this stuff rather than just revealing it.
Yes. Yeah.
It needed to be revealed so this could happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, good episode.
Good episode. Let's get into it.
Yeah. We start with Pete and Billy. They're in the Conjectural Technologies trailer. Billy warning Pete, he's not a scientist. Even though he's not a scientist, he knows it's a bad idea to put mouthwash into cookie dough. He's trying to make mint chip.
Fluoride's good for you. Come on.
I've told this story before, but my friend, one time before school, he would eat breakfast. And a lot of times it's like, we're teens and it was largely unsupervised. He'd eat ice cream and shit. And one time he's like, dairy, chocolate milk, chocolate cottage cheese.
Ooh.
And tried to make chocolate cottage cheese and said it was like super disgusting.
Like
real mouthwash into cookie dough energy.
I mean, this whole thing, it felt like when you were a kid, did you ever like make a potion by taking hand soap and ketchup and Kool-Aid, putting it together? Like, oh, I'm just going to play scientist, right?
I would make dips. I played food scientist. I would like what if ketchup and barbecue sauce together, which is a smattering of soy sauce. Like I would do that kind of shit, but I wouldn't make potions.
Yeah. It was never for drinking. It was just kind of like, I want to mix this stuff up. I was not drinking hand soap. I was more of a lotion man. But gotta make sure your insides are supple. It's the way you don't age. Yeah, but just this whole thing, it had real big like little kid just mixing up gross stuff kind of energy.
It's funny. It's very cute.
How did he make? Did he use Hershey's syrup or did he use like Quick? Did he use the cocoa powder?
I think they were a Quick family.
Okay.
So, but the moral of the story is it wouldn't have mattered because it's a disgusting idea. Like, I don't.
Okay.
I don't turn my nose up at cottage cheese, but I don't think it needs chocolate.
No. I could see how a kid would be led astray because, by that point he probably had been served cottage cheese with like pineapple on it, but like pineapple, pineapple can be either sweet or like acid. The acid needs to be there for that to happen. Just the bitterness of chocolate probably wouldn't play with it. Yeah. No, I don't care for it one bit.
There's a versatility to cottage cheese that my friend had picked up on, but it had led him down a dangerous and dark path.
It expressed itself in a really misguided way. But as Pete is undergoing this very misguided experiment, possibly poisoning him and his roommate, a robotic Tyrannosaurus attacks. I'm always going to call this Truckosaurus, even though I think it's like Robosaurus. It was an actual thing. It's can't.
Very similar to Truckosaurus.
Yeah.
And then Billy goes to the quiz cave, and we get a title sequence for their show, Quiz Boy and the Pink Pilgrim. This is so great. They show and Robobo is there, who's named Robot Beauregard, is his full name, which I love. Robot Beauregard.
And like there's just something about that. It's like the comedy cellar door, right? They were talking about it in the commentary. It's like they like collectively they laughed for 6 hours every time the name Robot Beauregard came.
Robot Beauregard. It's real good. And also Robobo is back. I love Robobo.
He gets to be part of their team. Yeah.
They get in their costume and go to their cave, and they eventually they're we'll give the Tyrannosaurus more than it can chew. They overload it with electricity.
Yeah. And so they call St. Cloud, who's the one who sent this, obviously, taunt him about his defeat, but this was all a distraction. Truckosaurus was there to keep them away while St. Cloud stole the source of their power, holds up what appears to be this child's red rubber ball.
And this is where he says, maybe next time, maybe no go.
I don't understand that.
That's a lyric from the song, but it's not the chorus or anything. It's like the third line of the second verse or some shit. Like this is as inside baseball as the boys have ever gotten about anything.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know it when I first watched the episode at all either. It was when I watched the video. I was like, oh, he says it.
Okay.
The Duran Duran fella says it. And I like Duran Duran. God damn it. Like it's nobody out Duran Duran's me. So they're gonna they're gonna go find St. Cloud's secret mountain lair at this point, and they make a plan to do it the next morning, and then they have to do some scheduling. Pete says he has a teeth cleaning. Let's do it at 10 instead.
I will see you tomorrow at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, they're playing.
Yes.
Yeah. Cut over to the Venture Tower where they're having breakfast. Rusty asks Brock if he's wearing a piece. Well, he's trying it since he's in New York. New York Rusty, he's trying out some street slang.
Yeah, well, that worked out for you. God, Bridges Brock's just ice burn here. Like,
he's also going to go get coffee because he's having Coffex, or what is the name of the stuff?
Caffex is what it is.
Caffex.
Yeah. He switched to this because he's got a nervous bowels, is what he said. Caffex is a real thing. It is a grain-based coffee substitute that was made by like Procter and Gamble or something. Like I think maybe as a competition for Sanka or Chicory.
Sanka. Chicory is the one that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I've had, since I have been, I do a very small amount of caffeine every day now. Cause I've been trying to work on my bowels, and I ended up buying, something that a young me would have shot myself for buying, which was, decaffeinated instant coffee, which is pointless and gross. But every once in a while, I just want to taste coffee, and I don't want to like be roiling in the night with acid reflux. So I have to I want the taste. I can't have the caffeine. It's like real Caffex energy.
No, I've kept that around. I even keep just like decaf coffee pots for just sometimes at night you want something hot but you don't want tea. So there you go. It's like 12 years ago when I quit chewing, You know, when I quit using Grizzly Wintergreen.
What are the most amazing facts about you?
Yep. I chewed for like 3 years.
Goddamn disgusting.
I know, right? but I quit, and you know, the physical addiction only lasts for, you know, so long as the last of it gets out of your system, but the psychological addiction is still there. There is faux chew that you can go get. I forget what it was called.
Gum?
I know, but like it approximates the like the texture and the taste, and also has like the salt and sugar in it. You know,
Okay.
that you put it there, and you know, so you still you would pop that in, so you would have something in your lip that kind of tasted like it, and so you had the spit to kind of like work yourself away from just the compulsion, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, as ridiculous as that is, as ridiculous as the whole thing was, and as ridiculous as that product sounds, it actually ended up working pretty well. So,
Yeah. It's the reason why when people, I remember my friends in high school and they quit smoking and they would hold pens.
yes.
Like they need to have something in their hands. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So Brock isn't down for this fake coffee. He explains he has to have a gun. You know, he's a top level client. And he's like, you know, Rusty says, like, look at me, I'm in the, you know, I'm in the paper, the business front page of the business pages. And Brock points out what the headline says.
CEO, no.
Yeah. Rusty has totally tanked the stock.
Yeah. And he's like, this is important to me. I have big plans for Ven, whatever. Where's that pirate? He could probably fix this.
Brock goes out to get coffee. He's like, bring me back some and my pirate.
My pirate. Poor PC. Come on.
Yeah. We go to the breakfast of the Monarchs, and the Monarch is upset. At the end of the last episode, he was told he can't arch Dr. Venture.
Yes.
Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch is like, this isn't something I can have any control over. Like, we can reevaluate this later, but he's a level 10 and your level is really low.
Yeah.
You know, and this is news to him. He used to be a 6 with the cocoon and the henchman, but now he's probably a 3 or 4. It's like, are you kidding me? Tantrum Rex is 4. God, I wish we could see Tantrum Rex.
I want to see Tantrum Rex because apparently he is exactly like the baby dinosaur from Dinosaurs.
That's really good.
Gosh. 21 keeps trying to interrupt them. Like he has ideas for how to address all this stuff, but they're just completely steamrolling him.
Yeah. On their way to do makeup fuck.
Yeah.
Like she's like takes off her thing and she's got the lingerie on. He's like, you have to wear the cheerleader outfit and stuff. And again, always kind of rubs me the wrong way that they can rub their sex shit in 21's face and he doesn't really care that much. Like he doesn't like it, but he's not, you know, this caused him to quit before.
Yes.
Also poor guy, right?
Yeah.
Like the 3 of them live there and these 2 are constantly doing this. Like 21.
Have some self-respect, dude.
Yeah, absolutely no self. Yeah. Come on, man. You're better than this. They go off to have this sex. Monarch comes back in because he's missing the cleanup rag.
Well, no, he's going to pretend that he. Just because he comes back in and says, "Hey, I need you to look up everybody who's in front of me in line to Arch Venture. You have 5 minutes to get all the details. That is not enough time, obviously." Yep. You know, he's not, the Monarch isn't going to last more than 5 minutes, you know, because of the cheerleader outfit. And this is where we learn that he's going to stall, I'll pretend I can't find the cleanup towel and leave her caked in my sticky triumph for a few minutes.
Yeah. This also leads to an absolutely vile anecdote from Doc Hammer.
Oh my God.
That like Jackson almost had to tap out of. Like Doc talks about leaving a cleanup towel on a radiator and how it smelled. And he's a poet when it comes to words. And like a Volvo where all they did was eat French fries for a year. It's like a real word picture. But real disgusting.
Yeah.
And I love these details about Doc Hammer's just fucking disgusting apartment. Disgusting life. You can't throw that shit in a hamper. Like the cleanup towel is real, but you keep a place for laundry out of convenience. You know, near your bed in the bedroom, and then you just throw the cleanup towel in there.
Yeah, if you don't have the floor space, I have laundry bags that hang from my doors. I got a few of them wherever clothes need to go. They don't go on the floor; they go in the bag on the door. Yeah.
The cleanup rag could even be on the floor, and it's less disgusting than it being on the radiator.
Yeah.
That has a smack of intention to it. Like, it's not just like not a good place for it. It's the worst place to put it. It's incredible.
Yeah. Don't care for it.
Yeah. Really gross. Pete and Billy get over to St. Cloud's compound. Robo-Bo parks the conjector craft. And the gate is closed. They can't get through it. They don't have lasers. So Billy goes, I'll shoot my grappling hand. And he shoots his hand can grapple out, but it can't reel back in.
Yeah, just too much gear. And they make a reference to something that I wasn't aware was a TV movie, but I absolutely knew the story. He says like, it'll make my arm all big, like the man whose arm exploded. This is in reference, I forget the name of the bodybuilder who this happened to, but he's a guy.
Valentino, I think.
Yeah, Valentino sounds about right. He was a bodybuilder, and of course he was juicing, he was doing steroids, and just had just vile, lumpy, huge arms. But the thing that went over, that put everything over was he was using synthol, which is a horrifying thing that is real. This is a thing that bodybuilders do, which is take this oil essentially and inject it into the skin, kind of under the fascia is the part of the skin that it is under, that just kind of distends the skin, so it makes it look like you got muscles there, or bigger muscles than you otherwise have. And this guy, he just had so much synthol, and his arms were so big, and he was doing so much stuff that popped his arms like a big old oily balloon.
It's pretty gross. It's also, the name of the special is The Man Whose Arms Exploded, and it aired in 2005.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the name of something from 2005 to me.
No, it doesn't.
Pete tries to climb the grapple line, and it kills Billy's nerves. It's connected to them. This has always been a thing with cyber arms that are funny. Like, Cable has a cyber arm, and if he picked up like a truck, with his cyber, like super strength in an arm doesn't really help,
right? Because
it's still connected to your shitty shoulder,
right?
Pete gets sick of this and just brings the intercom. This says, "Come on, capture us already."
That's what we were gonna get inside. Just love just his lack of patience with all this nonsense. Like, come on, let's just skip forward. We got Pirate Captain. This is kind of a cutaway. I did a little bit of condensing on this, so things are not entirely in sequence in here. This episode cuts back and forth a lot more than other ones do. Yeah. But we get a cutaway Pirate Captain. He's still on his tranquilizer bender. He's at the zoo. He's all disheveled. He's wearing his old costume, and he jumps into the polar bear tank and shouts for the guards. Like, "Hey, this polar bear's just he's out of control. You better shoot the pirate as well." He's looking for a fix.
Yeah. Brock walks in, grabs him, brings him back.
Yeah,
dumps him in the kitchen table, basically. The pirate captain grabs Brock's gun and points it into his mouth.
Or points it to his neck. He's like, "That's a real gun, jackass."
Yes, like, kill himself. And Brock's like, "Hank, you help out with this." Hank's off getting a pedicure, wearing a smoking jacket and a sailor's hat. The idea is Hank and Dean are going to fix Pirate Captain.
Yeah.
And then we get like a direct one-to-one parody of something.
Yeah,
that I'm never really a big fan when the show does this. And it ends up making it feel dated to me. Like, there are good jokes in this bit that I like, but we're doing a train spotting.
Yes, he's in the child's bedroom, Ned's old bedroom. That's a production detail. The reason that Ned's bedroom is like this is, like, okay, we need to design it. We're gonna make it look like this so it can be like the childhood bedroom from Train Spotting, because Doc had already written the sequence. Yeah, and
it just happened to work out.
Yeah,
he wakes up chained to the bed. "Where am I? Hell?" Or a children's TV show that takes place in hell, which is a cute line. Hank walks in and lists all the supplies for detoxing a junkie.
Yeah.
Beef mayo juice, a kitten. She's all that on DVD. 4 buckets, one for urine, one for feces, one for vomitus, and one for the kitten.
Yep.
And the kitten pops out, and it's great.
It's very good. I love this kitten, but that just made me think of the kitten from Train Spotting. That breaks my heart.
I'm not a train spotting guy. You a train spotting guy?
I've seen it. It's fine.
I've seen it too, but I didn't come like I knew all these people who watched it and they were just like, oh my God. And then I saw it and I was just like, huh. And then just moved on with my life. Like it didn't have a really strong impact. I wasn't like, this is my style now. I want to be a junkie. You know, like
No.
I wasn't like that.
I walked away from it thinking, I like that soundtrack. That's cool. Boy, that's just what an awful way to live. And I saw it like in college or something like that. It was a few years after it came out. And like when I walked away from it was like, oh, that was really unsubtle.
No, yeah. It's pretty obvious.
Which is
100%.
which is a ridiculous thing to say about that movie, like to levy against it that it's unsubtle. But I just kind of didn't like that it like how direct it was at that time.
It didn't need to make a lot of subtle points about being a junkie.
Right.
You know? This is going to make me sound powerfully square, but it's true. At no point in my life have I ever been like, oh, being a junkie seems cool.
Yeah.
Like, and part of it is because my parents were drug addicts.
Yeah, that'll probably do it.
That'll do it. But I never have I been like, oh, being addicted to this drug seems cool.
Yeah.
To me, it always seemed like a nightmare. No matter how cool like Iggy Pop tried to make it look.
Yeah, I had some friends who were like real into it, just like they just couldn't wait to do cocaine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I never it never had any appeal for me. That you know, like alcohol, you know, it didn't appeal to me in the way that like alcohol or I guess chewing tobacco did.
Yeah,
you know,
you want to spit.
Yeah,
gross colored slime.
Yeah.
Instead, that's the kind of cool you were going for.
Yeah, that was the particular appeal that
like
I
that
wanted.
Cool dinosaur from Jurassic Park. You wanted that kind of coolness.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to like. I was like, I didn't ever like the idea of being addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I was like, oh, that's because I'm a control freak. No, that's just a normal amount of wanting control.
Yeah.
There's no freakishness to not wanting to be addicted to something. That's just like a healthy amount of control.
Yeah.
And
It's
also right amount of control.
You know, that idea like of just associating with people who were all on that same kind of stuff. Like it just never seemed like a prerequisite for having fun to me. You know, like,
oh yeah,
I don't want to be around these people.
It's sad when you have to be, even with booze and pot. Like when you meet somebody who has to be intoxicated to have fun, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's not cool. It doesn't, it's just depressing.
Yeah.
And known several people who are in that situation. I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. We come back to the Monarch. Monarch and 21 walk up to this dilapidated house in Patterson, New Jersey, and an older lady with a smoker's cough and very key wearing a hairnet.
Wearing a towel wrapped around her hair.
Towel wrapped around her head.
Yeah.
Like, is it that or is it one of those lady hairnets? Not a net, but hair bags.
Maybe it's a hair bag. I thought it was a towel. I was taking notes, and she had it on for a very short time. So
yes,
yeah.
This is because they're like this. Oh, you're Redusa. You're second in line to Arch Venture. If you could just sign this thing, putting aside your right to do that, you get this free Monarch pen as your reward.
Yeah.
And she says, get off my porch. I don't know what you're talking about. Monarch just darts her. Of course.
Yeah. So we're going to come back to this. We come back over to to Billy and Pete. They are, for some reason, waiting in St. Cloud's bathroom while he takes a shower.
Yeah, I don't know why they're in the bathroom.
Like you guys can chill. Like, I'm sure St. Cloud would relish in having them, go around and look at his various impressive collectibles.
This bit, we have a lot of, so this is St. Cloud trying to get them to admit that it's the orb. Like he has heard of the orb as well. Mm-hmm. Billy's just saying, no, it's the video from the ball from the video there. And there's a whole lot of Pete doing his hair in different new wave.
Yep.
Band things like playing with moose.
Uh-huh.
And it gets real obscure. Like, look, I'm in this band, and they keep getting more and more obscure. It starts with Flock of Seagulls and then gets more obscure.
It goes from there.
I love St. Cloud's soap mitt, though, which is the original Henrietta Pussycat from Mr. Rogers.
From the land of make-believe. What's that, Henrietta? You want to watch me down there?
Down there? Oh, yes. And like, it's so gross.
Yeah.
Like using a shower, like Henrietta Pussycat as a shower mitt is very funny.
Yeah. And Billy is,
Meow, 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 meow. So funny.
Oh my gosh. I love how much Billy is basically just Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah. Or how St. Cloud.
Oh yeah. St. Cloud. There we go. Yes.
It is also, you get to have Billy being really angry, which is my favorite Billy St. Cloud. Like I love it's so pissed.
It's a part of our collective childhood. It's like it's basically the same joke every time. Like it belongs in a museum, but it still works.
Yeah, I have affection for it.
Yeah.
Kind of a big plot twist that happens here, or a big reveal. Fallen Archer sits down next to Wide Wale at a restaurant, who's eating a big bucket of krill.
It's got a lot of omega
fatty acids.
Yeah.
And this is a mobster scene.
Mm-hmm.
Fallen Archer gives him some money for protection, but it's kind of light. And this is he's gonna heavy him.
Yeah.
Until he blames on Venture. Like Venture didn't pay us for protection.
Yeah.
Here. Fallen Archer's in with the bad guys here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thus implicating all of the Crusaders Action League, right? Yeah.
Even though I think that because Wariana breaks good later.
Yes.
Like I think I always took this as Fallen Archer.
Oh yeah,
was doing this just because it didn't seem like, and Tosh seems like a shithead, but Wariana seems legit.
A little bit too on the up and up. Yeah.
But I don't think it ever gets fully explained.
No. But Wide Wale is not excited by this. He needs his money, and he's got Venture as his arch. So let's just make this happen. And let's see if the good ship Venture is a strong vessel. She's going on a Nantucket sleigh ride, which is not a term that I knew, but is actually pretty cool. It's when a whaling ship is dragged by the fleeing whale after they harpoon it.
Good.
Yeah, you did this monstrous thing. Yeah, and just hope it drags you on the rocks. You dick.
Dishonored has taught me anything. Redusa wakes up in her living room, all tied up, and the Monarch Monarch insults 21 for offering her a pen. At this point, there's kind of talking. They don't realize Redusa's awake. She wakes up and takes off her towel or lady hair thing, and she has tiny little snakes. And she shoots laser beams that shrink things around the room, thus being Redusa.
Yep. I love how the Monarch, just after seeing this, that's what makes him get the name.
Yeah. Oh, now Redusa.
Yeah.
He also could have done any amount of intelligence or Googling.
Yes.
21 bounces one of the beams back with this mirror and shrinks her head like Beetlejuice kind of.
Yeah.
And she threatens them. 21 puts a blade to her neck. She threatens them to tell the guild, what they're doing. And he counters you did not renew your guild membership.
Yeah.
I could just kill you.
Yeah.
So you have two choices. You can, get killed, or you can sign over your rights and take the pen.
Yeah. So she signs it, but it's not going to take. They're going to need to be a little bit more smart about this as they approach it. Cut back to the pirate captain. This is where it's, full on train spotting. This is the iconic scene from that movie. The hallucination, pirate captain is laying on the bed, and we see the baby crawling along the ceiling, hearing the music. There's good jokes in this. One of his old henchmen is sitting on top of the closet. Like that guy from the scene
with the weird New York accent that they gave the henchman.
Yep.
For some reason, real season 1 shit.
Yeah. And then the baby's the baby's head turns around to look at him. It's JJ. Using JJ as the baby. And he criticizes Pirate Captain's business skills. You're no businessman.
It's just hitting him in his insecurities.
Yeah.
Rusty wakes the pirate captain up. Realize he doesn't know his name. They kind of draw a line under this.
Yeah.
Hank tries to name him like he's a pet and calls him Reginald von Piratestein or something like that.
Yeah.
But Dean, cuts him off and gives this very heartfelt little intervention speech.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet.
People love you, and they feel like they're losing you.
And Pirate Captain's back.
Yeah.
That's how you get off smack.
Yeah, you just have Dean be very earnest around you, and then you're good. And also realize that in your depths, as you hit rock bottom, you shit in the bucket.
Yep. Yeah. No fun. piss bucket and a shit bucket because it conveniences me. Brock gets a call from shore leave being Mr. Chin. So he's upside down and he put little googly eyes.
Yep.
I love this so much. Brock, it's Mr. Chin. And he's just like, oh, it drives me nuts, man. Stop that. It's really cute. He's basically saying like, hey, you have a level 10 arching coming your way because Rusty didn't pay off the local talent. Brock asked for backup. He says, no, it's imminent. It's happening right now. You know, you don't have time.
Yeah.
This is the only heads up I can give you.
Yeah. The guy coming, it's Wide Wale, also known as Chester Ong. He's the brother of Doug Ong. Dr. Dugong. Yeah. So this is the reveal. And we learn that Wide Wale was Dr. Dugong's lab assistant back in the day. They got mutated. Dr. Dugong wanted to continue his research. He was a good guy, but Wide Wale, Chester ended up going into crime because of his mutation.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
So he's going to arrive at any moment. He yells at everyone to get in the panic room. We cut over to St. Cloud has Pete and Billy tied up in a room made to set like the set of that Duran Duran video.
Yep.
Showing off. He even has the pyramid time machine that came with that. This is also a thing where that video, like I did not see this as a time machine in that video. But Doc's like, you can see how I think. Like, I just assume it's a time machine. It's like, it's a weird thing. We get a lot of good stuff out of this, but Doc just making his characters make the same illogical leaps that he does.
Yeah.
Without giving any connective tissue ends up resulting in some weird uncanniness. Like, until I looked into this video in this episode, I didn't really understand a lot of what they were trying to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't.
Something that I'm finding with season 6, because like you, this is only the second time that I've seen these episodes, because I did the big watch through before we started the show, and then I'm seeing it now. Like all of the references in seasons 1 through 5, like I had kind of already looked up and internalized, so it's kind of like I always knew them. When I was watching this, I kind of had Wikipedia open the entire time. Because like it's throwing stuff at me that I didn't look up before or didn't necessarily know. So like by way of St. Cloud's like explanation, I knew what was going on, which is this weird inversion, because if I actually knew that video by heart, if I was one of the 4 people for whom that was true, this would remain confusing to me. It would be even more confusing, because it's like, wait a minute, you think what happens in the video? Like as presented though, it's fine. 80s videos are weird.
Yeah. Yep. It ends up being a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Billy says, just hurry up, through the nonsense, like about this, like or tells St. Cloud to.
Yeah.
And St. Cloud's talking about the power of this, like this ball that was inflated by Roxy Music and passed down to every new romantic band. Without this, the new romantics wouldn't have happened, and Duran Duran would be a jock rock band.
And this spirals out, as they're like, hey, so Duran Duran never would have written this one song. They say the wrong song in this, which is a bit of a bummer. They would never have written Truth, which is a song that ended up in was it 16 Candles? Is that the one?
True
is
the song, and they say something different. They're talking about like an OMD song. But they meant it. They got the song right, or the band wrong, and the song right.
Yes.
With this, True is a Spandau Ballet song that is on the Vice City soundtrack, and is, I find, really unpleasant as a fan of the New Romantics band. Like every once in a while, he just goes True in it,
like Joey Lawrence from Blossom.
It sounds a lot like that. It sounds like an animal. It sounds like you're down at the docks and there's a bunch of sea lions like just making noises at you.
Just clapping and arfing.
Yep. But he continues. He goes on, if there were no New Romantics, Molly Ringwald would never leave the facts of life. So tell me, Quiz Boy, are you ready for a world of jocks led by President Tutti?
I really like that. I just the way that spirals, just bringing time machine logic into all of this.
Yeah, they're all. I love that they're all just playing pretend.
Yeah. Billy makes his gambit. He fires his grappling hand to knock the ball out of St. Cloud's hand. It bounces, does a couple of bounces off the set, heads toward Pete, and Pete headbutts it back to St. Cloud. Why did you do that?
I love it. I don't know, Reflex? Reflex is a lonely child who is waiting by the park.
Which is...
and then they play the Duran Duran little drum thing from the Reflex.
Oh, God. So St. Cloud, he's going to use this time machine to send the ball back to the Old West, unless Billy and Pete sell him conjectural technologies for a single penny.
Yep. Go back to Brock is trying to explain to Sergeant Hatred the danger of Wide Wale. He's not going to be able to do anything. He doesn't even have a gun. You're just a tour guide. He goes, I'm barely a tour guide. All he has is a flashlight there.
Yeah.
And Hatred, though, he knows Wide Wale.
Yeah.
He starts rattling off facts around him.
Yeah. And
about him.
Brock is surprised, but Hatred raises a good point. Like, I was in the OSI and the Guild. I was a double agent. Like, it would be crazy if I didn't know this stuff. He could even tell you where King Gorilla used to hide his porn.
Yeah. The Wide Wale move. He says the Wide Wale moves through submarine, through the sewers, septic lines, comes through the floor. Hatred points out that Brock's gun is not loaded. And this is Brock at this point. This ends up feeling like a non sequitur, but pays off later.
Yeah.
Brock ignores it and is just like, today earlier I was at the zoo. When's the last time you went to the zoo? And just cuts away.
Yeah.
It ends up feeling kind of a weird line, but there's a payoff later.
I like that both of these episodes somehow involve furtive trips to the zoo to get an animal.
Yeah, I
just did they move to New York entirely so they would have proximity to the Bronx Zoo?
Basically, that's what it seems like.
Yeah. Up in the panic room, Rusty is kind of giving Pirate Captain a bit of a riot act. He says, we need to go back to the way Venture, used to be. It used to be the way my father ran the business. It has to be super science, not this consumer crap. This tower was built on top of his grandfather's tower, which is why on the outside it's like, what's his name?
Lloyd Venture's Milliner and Automata.
Milliner, which is just like an obscure callback to season 3, saying like, oh, my father was a super scientist, my grandfather was a super scientist, his father, I think he made hats or something. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think he was a milliner.
It was a milliner. Yeah. Oh gosh.
So Pirate Captain's like, no, you have shareholders, you have to run a business, you have employees, and Dean basically says do both.
Yeah.
Keep a public face and then have a speculative science.
Yeah.
Wing.
And this satisfies everybody. And also we'll set up the tag on the end of this.
Yes.
So Pete and Billy are walking home, and it's nighttime. They're on the desert road here. Billy says, oh my gosh, if there's no new romantics, then new metal will happen earlier, which will ruin hip hop. That means there will be no RZA, and thus I will never lose my virginity to side one of Wu-Tang forever.
That's very funny. We cut to, Billy has the red ball, so they end up selling the company.
Yes.
And Pete, Pete's upset. Like, he doesn't like this. He's like, listen, we had to do it, think about what your hair would look like. Like Billy's also a believer.
Yes.
They sold their home. They sold Robobo, all their inventions to St. Cloud. And Pete's very disenchanted. But Billy says, no, we do have the magic. We believed it. We saved the world.
Yeah.
Again, pretend.
Yes.
About this stuff.
The sentimentality is worth it to him in a way that just having the stuff is not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So nighttime in the Ventec lobby, there's a tour guide info tape playing. Hatred reading off all this stuff about Jonas's adventures. You can't really hear it in the mix, but I bet you there were jokes in there.
Mm-hmm.
Wide Wale's sub bursts through the lobby floor like Rocksteady invading April's library. The sea lice run out firing lasers, and Wide Wale notices no one's there. They've been stood up.
Yeah. And then conveniently timed, the tape starts talking about this solid gold, like 30 pounds of gold Aztec mask that Jonas Venture got a hold of, because there's this little museum here, and like a spotlight turns on, so highlighting like, yes, this is a trap, and so Wide Wale says like, oh, so let's just steal this priceless artifact, then that'll make it worth it for us. We're gonna send our send our message here, right? So they take that, but obviously, it is something different. Yeah.
Monarch and 21 get back to the mansion off the bus. They're like sad because Reduce assigned the thing, but she's probably just going to go right to the guild and tattle to his wife. Manolo runs out saying, "You're not gonna believe what I found." Monarch immediately says, "I knew you spoke fucking English."
I love the delivery on that. Like just the immediate rage.
He found a door behind a bookshelf in the study. He didn't go down there because it's muy creepy. And the Monarch sends Manolo away, and 21 goes down there, and it's the Blue Morphos lair, starting this meta plot for the season. This was all done at the end. They like just wrote this and tagged it on at the end. It's why there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
To make it fit. Like it was not originally part of the script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ends up, I like what it does. I like the effect of kind of introducing this so they can pick it up at full speed in the next one.
Yeah. Next episode.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty important, but there's a bat cave beneath this place.
Mm-hmm.
Back over in Manhattan, across the street, Brock slams two of the sea lice, two of the guards' heads together. They're up on the guild tower there. And Hatred gives him an update, walks up, "Hey, Wide Whale took the bait. That mask is Tumbega, meaning it's mostly copper. Just an alloy common in gold working in South America, Tumbega. So basically it's not worth as much as he thinks, but that's not the entire prank. Brock's back is killing him. And he says, "Oh, I can't believe how much he weighed." Like, "Oh, I think tranquilizers make bodies weigh more." We kind of, we're kind of led to believe like, oh, he's talking about carrying Wide Whale. No, not the case.
Or Pirate Captain who got tranquilized, and we saw him carry.
Yeah.
Back in.
I like Brock and Hatred bonding here. Like they executed their plan. It all worked pretty well. I'm like, "Hey, do you want to take the cloth elevator down?" I'm like, "Sure, buddy." They just parachute off of the tower. It's good stuff.
I find it really cute. This is a very specific, like weird little sensitivity I have. I don't like it when addicts or relapsing is treated as nothing by people around them. It's a big thing. The reason why The World's End lands bad for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's like, I'll get a drink, and Hatred's like, "No, I'm in AA, but I can have one drink. I'll just go to an extra meeting." Well, that's not how alcoholism works.
Nope.
Ruined your life, buddy.
Yeah.
And Brock, if Brock was your real friend, he would know that in the first place. And then he also wouldn't let you do that.
Yeah. He wouldn't be an enabler.
Yeah. It made me feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
Also, so Wide Whale gets to his barnacle butler. He goes to talk to him on his hall, and the butler walks through a room filled with balloons. A bucket of water falls on their head. And Wide Whale is mad because he thinks he just got regular pranked. He says, "Whoever's in there, come out." And the polar bear came out. So that's who Brock killed. I also had a moment of feeling bad for the polar bear, which Wide Whale is definitely going to kill.
Yeah.
I can shoot. I don't know. Brock's doing mean stuff in the end of this episode.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
Poor bear.
I know I'm overthinking it, but it made me sad.
So we get our post credits. St. Cloud knocks on the door of the trailer. I'm like, okay, this guy owns our business, our house, and our life, but not anymore. He came here to tell them, "Oh, I flipped your business. I sold you, I sold you for a tidy profit. So a dollar would be 100x." Return.
Anything is a tidy profit there.
Yeah. Pete comments on St. Cloud's hips as he walks away.
He's like, "I swear that guy takes estrogen," which there's lots of reasons to take estrogen and stuff. Like there's reasons to think about this more. But even before I was aware of any kind of gender spectrum or anything like that, every once in a while you'd meet one of those dudes with real childbearing hips.
Yeah.
Big wide booty, and it's always really surprising. Dude with lady ass. was surprising.
Yeah. It's just a way somebody can be shaped, but there's something funny about the way he delivers it, which is good. But kind of the stinger here is that St. Cloud didn't just sell it to anybody; he sold it to Ventec. They're going to go and be the speculative engineering department there. Which I like the way that they talk about this in the book, which is to say okay, so there's going to be an empty nest kind of thing. The kids are growing up, but now that Rusty has, his two dipshits back, he still has people to abuse, Yeah.
He has his boys.
Yeah.
I like the where everything gets placed in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, it's fun. And it puts the things into a place where interesting stuff can happen.
Yeah. And I'm into Billy, and St. Cloud playing pretend, even though it has very real consequences.
Yeah. That's really it. Just good episode, above average episode of the show. If you like this show, if you like Orb, head on over to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and support your boys.
Yeah.
Get bonus shows.
We are making a change. Early release is going away as a perk for our Patreon here at the beginning of May. So through April, this will remain the case. You'll be able to get a hold of stuff early, but there is still lots of stuff. If you want to sign up at $3, you get a whole just like a whole bundle of free bonus content. Well, not free. You get a whole bundle of bonus content that otherwise would be at higher tiers. So go check it out.
And access to the Slack.
Yes.
At $5 you get a bunch of bonus shows. And we'd appreciate it. And you support us, which we really appreciate. This is our job, and we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
So,
otherwise, ratings, reviews, and tell your friends.
We would really enjoy it. And until next time,
go Team Venture.